Dear students of the third secondary stage, welcome back to our episode. Last time we started The Prisoner of Zenda, chapter 5, part 1. Today we're going to complete chapter 5, part 2. Before that, let me please introduce and welcome my dear friend, Mrs. Amani. Hello, Mrs. Amani.
Hello, Mrs. Caroline. How is everything? Okay. Welcome, dear students. We're happy to meet you again today with part 2 of chapter 5 of the novel. Hope you studied the previous part. So now let's begin.
Chapter 5, Part 2. And what will you do? I also have a game to play. I will tell the Duke's men that you never came. If the Duke doesn't find out what I have done, we may meet again. Thank you. طبعا ده عارفين كلام أنطوانيت دو موبان لرود الفرازندل. احنا دلوقتي في السمر هاوس و let's see how the conversation is going to go.
You've helped the king tonight, I said. But before I go, tell me something. Do you know where is he is in the castle? Yes, I do know. Inside the castle, there is a door on the right and behind that, but listen, they are here. It's too late for you to escape.
I looked through a gap in the summer house door and saw 3 men standing outside. Then I heard a voice, which spoke in English. The 3 biggest criminals in Mauritania. Do you think the king is definitely there? I asked. Almost certainly. The 3 men are always at the castle.
Are you in there, Mr. Rassendyll? I didn't answer. We want to make you an offer, the voice said. Will you let us in? Don't trust them, said Antoinette quietly. Now let's see some questions. Choose the correct answer and go through them.
What furniture was there in the summer house? A small iron table and 2 chairs, a new armchair, 2 cupboards, or 3 sofas. طبعا احنا عارفين ان كان فيه a small iron table and 2 chairs بدليل انه لما خبط عليه داتشارد وندى عليه من بره وقال له رود الفرازندل مسك الايرون small table اللي كانت صغيره and he pushed it in his face.
Why did Antoinette ask Rassendyll to leave the summer house as soon as he could? Because 3 of Michael's men would go there to kill him? Because 2 of Michael's men would go there to kill him? Because 4 of Michael's men would go there to kill him? هو هيتقتل. Because 1 of Michael's men would go there to kill him. طبعا احنا عرفنا ان هم كانوا 3 men, so the choice will be A, because 3 of Michael's men would go there to kill him.
What was Michael's evil plan to get rid of Rassendyll and the king? طبعا كان عنده بلان مهمة. خلينا نشوف لأن التشويسز هتبقى شوية السنتنسز كبيرة فنركز شوية في كل واحدة منهم. He would kill Rassendyll and take his body into the old town. The body would be found. Then he would arrest Sapt and Fritz for murdering him. شكلها لوجيك جدا. A messenger would be sent to Zenda and the real king would be murdered too. Flavia would be queen. Or A and B are correct. طبعا أنا سمعت على طول أول ما قلنا الإجابة الأولانية was correct وكمان الجزء الثاني هيبقى correct لأنه هيقتل الكينج وبالطريقة دي he can get the throne.
What would be the result of killing Rassendyll? The Duke would be their king as a result. Flavia would be a queen. The Marshal would become the next king, or both and B are correct. طبعا the correct answer is Flavia would become a queen.
What pushed Antoinette to help Rassendyll? دي قلناها المرة اللي فاتت لما كنا بنتكلم على أنطوانيت دو موبان وقلنا إنه كانت بتستفاد جدا من الفكرة دي لأن هي كانت الوسيلة الوحيدة تبعدها عن بلاك مايكل. So هنشوف الانسرز because she didn't like to see people being killed ودي كمان أضفناها المرة اللي فاتت وقلنا إن هي she didn't like to see people killed وبالتالي this was one of the answers بس كمان there would be another answer إن هي she didn't want Black Michael to marry Princess Flavia. Because she didn't like to see people being killed or because she didn't like Michael or because she loved Rassendyll or because she didn't like Flavia. لو اخترنا من الchoices اللي عندنا هنلاقي ان هي she didn't like to see people killed.
What game would Antoinette play with Michael's men? ايه الحركة اللي هتعملها؟ She would tell the Duke's man that Rassendyll never came. She would kill Michael's man. طبعا دي بعيدة جدا. She would ask her man to arrest Michael's men, or she would deceive the princess. طبعا البرنسس ملهاش أي علاقة بالموضوع، يبقى she would tell the Duke's man that Rassendyll never came.
On what condition would Antoinette meet Rassendyll again؟ ممكن تقابله تاني ازاي؟ If the Duke didn't find out that she helped him in the summer house, يبقى متوقع يعيش وبالتالي she could meet him. If she could save the real king, if Michael's men were killed, or in case of no returning to Paris. طبعا هي ممكن تقابل رودولف رازندل if the Duke didn't find out that she helped him in the summer house.
Why didn't Antoinette complete telling Rassendyll the king's place in the castle؟ السؤال ده تعرضنا له برضو قبل كده. يا ترى because she heard Michael's men come outside the house, or as Sapt called up Rassendyll, as Fritz came suddenly, or Michael came with his man. طبعا الإجابة المنطقية عندي إن هي سمعت الثري men اللي جايين, so she heard Michael's men come outside the house.
What offer did Datcherd give to Rassendyll؟ ايه الاوفر اللي داتشرد اداه لرازندل؟ طبعا احنا عارفين ان هو لما جه عند السمر هاوس وهو كان عايز يشوف رازندل، ما كانش طبعا دي كانت بارت من التراب اللي هو كان عاملها. فطبعا اول ما وصل عند السمر هاوس وخبط من على الباب ونادى عليه وقال له مستر رازندل، علشان يخليه يفتح الباب قال له انا هدي لك اوفر. ايه كان الاوفر؟ كان الاوفر مبلغ من المال، وهنعرف دلوقتي هو كان كام. سمعت الناس قالت على طول 50,000، وكمان قال له we are going to get you safe to the borders. فده اللي خلى رودولف قال له طيب خلاص اوكي، وفتح الباب، ودي كانت بدايه التراب. لكن عرف رودولف ان هو يرد و to hit him with the iron tape. نشوف التشويسز معانا. They offered him a safe journey to the border and 50,000 English pounds, or they offered him a safe journey to the border and 50,000 pieces of gold, or they offered him a safe journey to Zenda and 50,000 English pounds, which is completely wrong, or they offered him a safe journey to the border and 40,000 English pounds. طبعا احنا عارفين ان هي it was a safe journey to the border and 50,000 pounds.
Why did Rassendyll ask Antoinette and her servant to stand close to the wall? To show them his weapons, طبعا بعيد جدا, to protect himself from them, so as not to see Michael's men, or he wanted to protect them from Michael's men. طبعا كأي ملك بقى وكأي راجل طبيعي المفروض يبقى he wanted to protect the ladies, يبقى to protect them from Michael's men.
Now we are going to move to some critical questions. الcritical questions أسئلة نقدية بتعتمد على فهمي للقصة. ازاي هعرف اجاوب؟ مش لازم تكون الإجابة بالنص موجودة في الستوري، لكن بتبقى عادة من طريقة فهمي للستوري. فأنا لازم دلوقتي أخلي بالي how am I going to read the story عشان أقدر أعمل illustration بالexamples بتاعتي. Let's start the first question.
Rassendyll had contradicting feelings on leaving the princess's palace. Illustrate. كلمة contradicting feelings هنا معناها مشاعر متضاربة. ازاي مشاعر راسندل كانت متضاربة ما بين ولا، ما بين something good something bad. هبص الاقي ان هو he wasn't sorry to say goodbye to the Duke and his men, but he was sad to say goodbye to the princess. He asked himself if he was wrong to pretend to be the real king.
What did the prince's words to Rassendyll on farewell mean in your opinion؟ احنا قلنا الفارول اللي هو الجودباي، فيا ترى كان ايه معنى الكلام اللي هو قاله لها الكلام اللي قالته له لما كان ماشي؟ اول ما كان ماشي قالت له take care. طب take care لايه؟ Flavia warned him to be careful and to think what his life meant to the people of Ruritania. This means that she loved him dearly.
Why do you think Rassendyll remembered what Rose said about his brother when the princess wanted him? طبعا احنا هنا هيفتكر كلام روز عن responsibilities زي ما قلنا المرة اللي فاتت، ان هي كانت بتتكلم ان everyone should have responsibilities in the society، فهيبتدي يفتكر ان realized ان position in society brings with it responsibilities. مش سهلة ان انا ابقى عندي position، لكن بيبقى مسؤولية كبيرة جدا بتقع على عاتقي.
How do you think Rassendyll's life changed in Ruritania؟ Rasindel always wanted to have a quiet life, but he suddenly realized how many responsibilities he had in Mauritania.
Why didn't anyone seem to notice that Rasindel was not the real king in your opinion? وطالما قال لي my opinion يبقى أنا هتكلم عن وجهة نظري ولازم يكون عندي إثبات من الستوري. يبقى ما ينفعش إن أنا أقول أي رأي، لا لازم يكون رأي معين وأبتدي أدعمه بأفكار معينة من اللي أنا قريتها في النوفل بتاعتي. يبقى because Rasindel looked so like the king and it was easier for him to pretend to be a king than to him by neighbor at home.
What do you think of Rasindel's action when he made mistakes? طبعا ايه الاخطاء اللي كان بيعملها؟ كان في اخطاء بيعملها، بس ايه الرياكشن بتاعه؟ He pretended that he had forgotten rules or people that he had met, and I think this was a good way to escape from blame and doubt.
When do you think we know that Rasindel became popular with the Mauritanians? امتى بقى راسندل كده بقى مشهور كده ومعروف والناس اللي في موريتانيا بيحبوه؟ What do you think؟ لما هو كان hoped that his growing popularity with the people of Mauritania would help them to forgive his occasional bad situation. Sabt called Rupert, Langram, and Kraftstein the three biggest criminals in Mauritania. Do you agree or not? Why? رأيك إيه إن هو يستدعي أكتر 3 مجرمين في موريتانيا؟ So I agree. ليه؟ ما هي دي الوسيلة اللي هيدافع بيها عن نفسه. Because they do whatever Michael asked them to do regardless how evil and cruel it is.
Why wouldn't it be a good idea for Rasindel to go to Zenda? ليه ما كانتش حاجة صح إن يروح؟ كنا عارفين وقلنا قبل كده لأنه if he went to Zenda he would probably stay there forever، يعني he would be imprisoned ومش هيعرفوا يطلعوا الكينج من هناك.
Why do you think Sabt ordered 6 men to follow Rasindel wherever he went in Starso? ليه سبت طلب من ال6 men ان هم دايما يكونوا guarding رادولف راسندل؟ طبعا علشان هو خايف عليه وhis life وin order to keep his life safe، فهقول to guard، وguard هنا معناها يحرس، to guard Rasindel as it would be easy for Dugutat وبرسونين and Detcherd to catch him. It would be useful for Michael if Rasindel disappeared in order to kill the king.
Why do you think Antoinette de Maubant's letter was sent to Rasindel؟ ليه اتبعت اللتر ده كان مهم جدا to ask him to go to the summer house so that someone would tell him something very important about his life. ودي طبعا it was a plot أو trap، يعني كانت خدعة ومؤامرة from Black Michael اللي هي كملتها بعد كده أنطوانيت دو موبان، وكانت التراب دي نتيجتها إنه داتشرد جه على الباب and he wanted to attack him.
What would happen in your opinion if Rasindel showed the letter to anyone? أبسط حاجة إن هو طبعا هيعمل harm أو أذى لأنطوانيت دو موبان، so هيبتدي يحطها in great danger and Michael would punish her.
How did Sabt know about Antoinette de Maubant in your opinion؟ قلنا اللتر ما كانش فيه signature. طب how did he know؟ قلنا إنه maybe he heard from the chief of the police or his spies if he had any، وعرف بالبلان بتاعتها اللي هي she was part of it based on Black Michael's plan.
How do you think Antoinette de Maubant could be useful to them؟ هتنفعهم إزاي؟ She could tell them information about Michael والplots اللي بيعملها طبعا and help to save the king.
Why did Antoinette help Rasindel؟ قلنا الكويستشن ده قبل كده as she didn't like to see people being killed. كمان she was a kind woman who didn't like evil.
How do you think Antoinette tried to save Rasindel's life؟ إزاي قدرت تنقذ حياته؟ She told him that he would never be safe in the city if he was alone with Michael's men. Then this would cause his killing. She told him to climb the ladder and run as fast as he could.
What do you think Antoinette would tell the Duke's men if they didn't find Rasindel؟ وقلنا إن هي هتقول لهم that Rasindel didn't come to the house.
Why do you think Antoinette couldn't complete telling Rasindel about the king's place؟ إيه اللي منعها إنها تقول مكان الكينج؟ طبعا علشان الثري men بتوع Duke Michael, 3 of the 6 famous men, arrived and interrupted her.
Why do you think Antoinette asked Rasindel not to trust the 3 famous؟ ليه كان طالب منها أو هي كانت طالبة منه not to trust them because she knew for sure from Michael that they are coming ليه to kill Razendel.
What do you think of the offer which Datcherd talked about? العرض اللي عرضوا عليه I think it was a fake offer. fake معناها unreal أو مزيف.
When Razendel said that their offer was generous, did he mean that it was generous? هل فعلا كان يعني الكلام ده؟ I think he said so, but in fact طبعا he didn't trust him والدليل إنه مجرد ما he opened the door he hit Datcherd with the table لأن كان متأكد إنه definitely ده مش هيحصل وده مجرد حاجة عشان يخليه بس يدخل المكان و to attack him as normal.
Razendel owed his life to the iron table discussed. كلمة owed هنا معناها يدين بيه. ازاي راسندل كان بيدين بحياته لحتة الايرن تيبل الترابيزة الحديد الصغننة دي. طبعا when they tried to get into the house he just used it as a weapon, so when the three men fired at Razendel he was protected by the top of the iron table.
Why do you think Sabt was surprised that Razendel was safe? Sabt ما كانش متوقع أبدا إن Razendel is going to be safe. As the three men were too dangerous طبعا وبالتالي كان متوقع إنه Razendel is going to be hurt أو كمان killed.
How do you think Razendel knew that his shot was a good one? أبسط حاجة بعد كده لما شاف Datcherd لقاه عنده a bandage. A bandage يعني ضمادة أو رباط around his arm, so this meant that he shot him to the point.
Why do you think the people weren't happy that the king had yet to marry the princess? وده كان من الأسباب اللي كانت مخليه الناس متضايقة جدا. هنقول I think they like the princess and they think her happiness was to marry the king. إلى جانب إن ده كان تقليد في البلد بما إنه he became the king كان لازم الناتج من ده إنه هو to marry the queen علشان يبقى ده تكملة الرويال family بالنسبة له.
Why do you think Razendel wanted to tell the princess the truth? ايه السبب اللي خلاه عايز يقول لها التروث؟ Because he should know what had happened to her future husband اللي هو the real king.
Razendel was a good faithful man. Illustrate. Good faithful man يعني شخص كويس جدا ومخلص جدا. يا ترى ليه؟ طبعا هنلاقي في مواقف كتير إذا كان بيخلصوا to the real king أو إذا كان حتى بيخلصوا to Princess Flavia انه ما كانش عايز to complete fooling her. بالعكس هو كان محتاج يقول لها هي ايه اللي حصل والسيتويشن. فطيب خلينا نشوف ايه الالستريشن بتاعتها. انت مفتوح لكل الانسرز اللي موجوده بدل ما تدي لها بروف. الاجابات بتاعت الكويستشن دي اوبن انسر زي ما قلنا مفيش حاجه اجابه اسمها رايت اور رونج. طب خلينا نشوف ايه الاوبشنز اللي ممكن نكتبها في حاجه زي كده. Let's see. Although he could arrange for the duke and the real king to be killed, he decided to go to Zenda to rescue the king. وطبعا زي ما قلنا قبل كده وزي ما كان بيتكلم مع سبت في مره وقال له يعني انا مش محتاج ان انا اعمل كل ده. I could easily kill the king و I could easily kill you او order the army to come and arrest you and Fritz. وقت البلاك مايكل and I can marry Princess Flavia. لكن كان بيعمل كل ده من his faithfulness, his loyalty to the king and even his loyalty to the mission that he was put in it.
Why do you think Razendel wanted to see Princess Flavia again? ايه السبب اللي خلى Razendel عاوز يشوف Princess Flavia؟ طبعا كان عاوز يحذرها يبقى to warn her that situation in Ruritania was not that good. It was not as good as she believed it to be, so the situation was so bad.
Why do you think Razendel had to send the marshal a message every evening? طبعا قال له هبعت لك المسج ليه؟ To make sure that he was still alive.
Now you have some questions to test yourself. You're going to answer the questions and then just contact us on Facebook. Choose the correct answer.
In the summer house, Antoinette de Mauban would tell Michael's men that Razendel. هتقول ايه Antoinette de Mauban في السمر هاوس؟ هتقول ايه لمايكل عن Razendel؟ هتقول له that Razendel climbed the ladder ولا he hid behind the door ولا he never came ولا he left early. هنسيب لك الانسر تفكر وتشوف. احنا اتكلمنا قبل كده وقلنا ان بلاك مايكل هو اللي عمل التراب وانطوانيت دو موبان كانت موجوده في السمر هاوس وكان المفروض ان هي مات اللتر ده محدش يشوفه. طيب دلوقتي بما ان هي اللتر محدش يشوفه او كمان هي مش عايزه تعرف بلاك مايكل باللي حصل ده كله يبقى متوقع انهي منهم؟ هل to climb the ladder هتقول له he climbed the ladder ولا he hid behind. هنسيب لكم الانسر تفكروا فيها next time we'll see which one is going to be correct.
Rasindel could escape from the summer house boy. ازاي راسندل قدر ان هو يهرب من السمر هاوس؟ يا ترى عن طريق going out of the gate ولا going through a hole يعني فتحة، jumping over the wall ولا climbing a ladder. هنبتدي نفتكر كده الايفنتس اللي قلناها اثناء الشابتر بتاعنا، هنقرا ونشوف الطريقه اللي راسندل قدر يهرب بيها فعلا من السامر هاوس.
بتهيألي هم كمان كده هنربط بالكويستشن اللي فات، وهنلاقي وسمعت ناس بتقول climbing ladder اللي قبلها، وبالتالي دي it's going to follow، وعشان كده الانسرز هنلاقيها مترابطه جدا مع بعض.
هي كل الكويستشنز تقريبا كل كويستشن
leading to the second answer. Rasindel was going to tell the princess about his real identity when. Rasindel امتى هيقول للبرنسس على حقيقته؟ When Sabt interrupted him، كان بيتكلم وسابت interrupted him، ولا Fritz came into the room، ولا a servant brought the coffee، ولا the princess fainted. طبعا هو كان بيتكلم، وانا مش هقول الانسر لكن هقول انه سابت كان دايما بيتابعه وبيحاول يعرف كل اللي بيحصل عشان ما يحصلش something that is behind his back، فجزء منه كان سابت. هل حصل حاجة تانية؟ نرجع للستوري ونشوف which answer is going to be the right one, although I heard many of you have answered it just suddenly.
Michael sent a letter to Princess Flavia to يا ترى warn her about Rasindel. الجواب اللي كان بعته لها ليه؟ علشان يقول لها خلي بالك من Rasindel، or ask her for marriage، طالب ايدها حضرته، or invite her to go to Zinda or tell her he was ill. يا ترى السبب اللي خلى ديوك مايكل يبعت الليتر لبرنسس فلافيا عايز منها ايه يا عم الحاج؟ يا ترى عايز تحذرها؟ are you so good يعني ان انت تقولها خلي بالك من راسندل وتجيب لنفسك مشكله، ولا you want to marry her، ولا invite her ان هي تروح to Zinda to visit Zinda، or هيضحك عليها ويقول لها
على ذكر الموضوع ده يا مس اماني لازم نفكرهم انه بلاك مايكل sent a letter to فلافيا، في نفس الوقت كان في لتر تاني جاي لفلافيا من أنطوانيت دو موبان. ولازم نقول انه احنا هنا كنا بنتكلم على 3 letters. في لتر اول لتر اللي اتكلمنا عليه كان من رودولف رازندل، سوري من أنطوانيت دو موبان لرودولف رازندل، وهنقول انه التاني لتر كان جاي من بلاك مايكل. ونفكرهم بحته صغيره عشان برضو
يعني هي تكه صغننه بس عشان يقروا.
بلاك مايكل كان معتاد عاده to invite فلافيا during the summer، لانه كان معروف انه بيبقى فيه hunting time، فكان دايما بيحاول ان هو to ask her to come و to invite her to come to the summer house، وبعت لها letter actually بالموضوع ده. واللتر الثاني كان جاي لها طبعا warning من أنطوانيت دو موبان. فاحنا هنركز كده في التشويسز وهنشوف بلاك مايكل sent a princess a letter ليه and we are going to know the answer.
هي كلمة warn ممكن تلخبطهم شوية علشان الورنينج بتاعها
لكن هي ملهاش علاقة عشان احنا عارفين يعني احنا بعدنا لهم واحدة اهو. فهي الباقي اكيد you are going to find the right one.
Now answer only 2 of the following questions. انتوا طبعا هتجاوبوا كتير يعني. Prove that Princess Flavia cared a lot about Rasindel. ايه البروفز، ايه الاثباتات اللي موجوده عندي في التكست بتاعي في النص بتاع النوفل اللي انا هقراه مش هسيبه خالص، ايه اللي يثبت لي ان برنسس فلافيا كانت كيرنج، كانت مهتمه براسندل؟
احنا قلنا ريزنز كتير بقى، هنشوف اللي اتكلمنا عليه وقلنا روريتينيا وقلنا her love to him، هنتكلم على كل تفاصيل. طيب let's get the second question. Although Antoinette loved Michael, she betrayed him. وده سؤال مهم جدا لأنه ده بيبين contradiction في الأكشن بتاعتها غريبة قوي. هي she loved Black Michael جدا and she was ready to do anything for Black Michael. ومع ذلك she sent a warning letter لرودولف رازندل و she sent كمان a letter to فلافيا، والاتنين she was warning them من Black Michael. طيب لو أنا عايز أشرح سؤال زي ده لازم أتكلم عن ناحيتين. لازم أتكلم على Black Michael how she loved him very much، ولازم أتكلم إن هي number 1 she didn't like evil to be done و she didn't like people to be killed، وده كان سبب اللتر that she sent to رودولف رازندل. والناحية التانية اللتر اللي بعتته لفلافيا ده it was out of her love، إن هي she didn't want Flavia to leave her house without a guard. هنتكلم ازاي she loved him and on the other side she acted against. بس against ليه؟ اتكلمنا على التو reasons، نكتبهم بقى باستفاضة، يبقى كده احنا we got the right answer.
When the pretend king was in the summer house. Pretend king يعني قلنا الملك اللي كده وكده. Why do you think he took rather a long time talking to Antoinette though that was a risk? ايه السبب اللي خلى pretend king يقعد يرغي مع أنطوانيت دومابا في السمر هاوس، مع ان دي كانت حاجة خطيرة جدا وممكن تعرضه لمشاكل كتيرة، بس هو ما هموش وقعد يتكلم. عايزين نشوف الريزنز ونفكر كويس علشان نقدر نعرف، وطبعا زي ما قلنا مش هنعرف الا من خلال ان احنا نقرا التكست كويس وندقق في كل التفاصيل اللي موجوده فيه.
كان مستني يعرف بعض الاخبار،
ربما يعني
كان مستني يعرف some information about the king. You can find this through the story.
Dear students, that was the end of our episode today. Just please keep in touch with your textbook, read the novel thoroughly, and try to answer the questions. We're waiting for your replies, and we enjoyed being with you today. Thank you very much and goodbye.
My dear students, thank you very much for today. We've been together for story questions and the second part of chapter 5. Waiting for you next time. Please don't forget to review, as Mrs. Amani had said, review the questions. Read the chapter again before you review the questions and then get back all over the questions again. Next time we are going to start a new unit. Please stay with us and keep ready for all what we're going to present. Thank you and goodbye.